Where'd you get these donuts from?
Yeah, definitely. What just happened there in that replay was exactly what Coach Brad Lauer had described it with his interview with Noah there. Need to get people in front and make it harder for Went to see the puck coming in. And he said, Went's going to stop everything that he sees, and you need to make sure that he's got some deflections or stuff that he can't see, and then you'll probably get something by him.
So, and no doubt the work of Martin on the wall to win the battle, absolutely. And then Allen walking the point and getting the puck through. Well, that's been an issue for Spokane this year. A lot of shots from the blue line haven't gotten through to the net this year. That one did, and Harrington there, right spot to get it into the net. So exactly what you try to dial up in practice every day, and the Chiefs were able to do that. And now the Chiefs now tied at 1 as we head down to Noah Schmick, who's down there at ice level.
Well, I'll tell you what, guys. There was a battery pack on.
We might have to call FEMA in for next year. My goodness, there's a ton of cleanup that is just not going to fit in those trucks, and they are absolutely stuffed.
Yeah, well, another whole part to all this is Tri-City elected to not go into their training room. So actually, they've been watching this the entire time, and it's one of those things where that second period. It's for both these coaches going to be interesting to see how you get things back on track.
Yeah, we were talking about that, Noah. I'm kind of interested to see how these teams are going to come back out after this, because it almost feels like the game's going to start over, and we'll probably see a repeat of what we saw in the first 5 minutes of the first period, because right now the last thing these guys have been thinking about is the hockey game, and it's going to be the challenge for the coaching staff to get everyone dialed right back in again.
Yeah, and as you mentioned earlier, it's great that Spokane scored a goal to tie up the game, but then you have this huge distraction, and we got to get back on the rails here and march forward. So this is kind of, I guess, a double-edged sword for Spokane.
No doubt. They did everything right in the first 3:04 of the second period. Now can they continue it for the remaining 16:56? Shots on goal in favor of Spokane, 12-9 overall. Chiefs have outshot the Americans 2-1. You can see the Americans kind of hanging out. I've seen a lot of teddy bear tosses in my years, and it's usually a split group. Some teams go immediately to the locker room and they kind of reorganize there, and some just hang out on the bench. So Tri-City, they've been sitting there that entire time. Now you're starting to see some of the guys get out. They're starting to stretch out, because they had to have gotten cold.
Yeah, your legs start to, cramp up a little bit, and let's get everything all stretched out and ready to go again, because, the puck's going to drop here probably in the next 5 minutes or so, and it's game on again.
Right.
And I think the team that is prepared and ready to go is going to be very well served versus the other guys.
No doubt about it. Starting to clear everything off as the last truck is making its way towards the Zamboni gate. But as I said, there are a number of bags that still need to be carried off over to the right of the Tri-City bench. And they're starting to load them up and get them to people. Ton of volunteers out here to clear it out, and a good thing, because I'm going to be just guessing here, but I said the record in 2019 was just over 8,600. I think we're going to be right in that ballpark.
Your gauge is accurate, I think, too, yes. Mike. I think that there was just a copious amount of furry friends that hit the ice, and I've seen quite a few of these before, and I don't think I've seen one of this magnitude.
So they're trying to clear the personnel off of the ice. And I see that there's some...
There's a traffic jam in the Zamboni area. Yes. Is what's going on here. They're trying to figure out where to put the trucks.
Yes, because I can see there's a truck backed up down that Zamboni gate, and there's another one right in the gate itself. And here's the other thing we haven't mentioned, Dan. The ice itself. You've had people and trucks all over this ice for the last 15 minutes. How's that going to be to skate on now?
That's a great observation, Mike. I think that you could have, people that have been walking outside and, pick up rocks in your shoe and, mud and dirt and grime and stuff like that.
Yep.
And it's fairly easy to, lose an edge or, skate over something like that. And, down goes Frazier. And that's something that is a very interesting point right now.
Yeah, I was going to say, how many blown tires are we going to see here over this last part of this second period? So, yeah, and of course, good point, all the fur that's been laying out there on the ice as well. There's going to be leftover bear somewhere out there.
I mean, an arm and a leg and maybe a button or two. There's all kinds of interesting things.
There's a little bit of stuffing I see on the ice right now. I'm leaning over the bench and
3 minutes of the second period. Keep an eye on how this ice will hold up here in this latter thing. Because I'm going to be guessing here, but I think the record in 2019 was just over 8,600. I think we're going to be right in that ballpark.
Your gauge is accurate, I think.
Yeah.
I think that
up and get them to people. I want to volunteer out here to clear it out on a good day. Because I'm going to be just guessing here, but I think the record in 2019 was just over 8,600. I think we're going to be right in that ballpark.
Your gauge is accurate, I think.
Yeah.
Mike, I think that
I'm here, but I said the record in 2019 was just over 8,600. I think we're going to be right in that ballpark.
Your gauge is accurate, I think.
Yeah.
Mike, I think that I've seen quite a few of these before, and I don't think I've